What's going on, guys? It's Jake here from Chief Live Gaming, today in front of my airbrushing booth to share with you guys a little bit of a tutorial, if you will, about how I go about cleaning my airbrush in between paints. So if you're just using your one color for a little while, you want to switch over paints. I see a lot of people that have asked me kind of how I go about doing that, and how the best way to do it is, because it can be an annoying process, honestly. For a long time, I know I didn't really airbrush much because I just didn't have a good system of doing it, and it was kind of a pain in the ass to get the airbrush clean in between colors. I know a lot of people struggle with that and just don't want to use their airbrush as much because it can be a bit of a hassle. So I'm going to show you guys my way. This is just the fastest way for me and works pretty damn well. I very rarely break down my airbrush fully and clean it because this actually kind of helps with that, I believe. The first thing I want to talk about, Airbrush Flow Improver. This stuff, guys, if you don't use this, you need to stop this video, go and buy some right now, and come back. You will thank me, because this stuff, I mean, whether or not you get Vallejo or any brand really, I don't know what it does, like chemically or science related. It does something to like the surface tension of the acrylic, maybe. You know what? That's my best stab in the dark there. But it is amazing. You will have significantly less issues with your airbrush if you start using Flow Improver. Things like your tip clogging, splattery paint, paint drying out on your tip of your brush, basically. This helps to prevent that, and will also help when you are cleaning your brush and cleaning your airbrush in between colors. The paint doesn't dry out in the cup as much and doesn't stick to the sides or to the cup of the airbrush nearly as much. Very, very helpful to use Flow Improver. Just chuck a couple drops in there depending on how much paint. If you're just putting a little bit of paint in your cup of your airbrush, just a drop. I usually throw 2 or 3 drops of Flow Improver in everything. So the second thing I want to talk about is Backflow, or I don't know, people call it all kinds of things, but basically I'm going to grab my airbrush here. I'm going to do this left-handed with my camera, so hopefully I'm okay here. I just put a little bit of water in here, and you can see, hopefully you can see that we're spraying out water. Now the idea with Backflow is you're putting, what I would normally do is put my palm over the guard in front of my tip of my airbrush, and I can't do that because I'm holding my camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it maybe like right here. That should work. So what we're trying to do, if you look in the cup, when I spray it normally, you see obviously it's just spraying out the water there. But if we clog the nozzle in the front and do the same thing, pull back on our airbrush, you see it start to bubble into the cup. It's because you're forcing the air back out into the cup, and it's basically mixing what's in this cup. So it's very helpful to get that Flow Improver mixed in with your paint before you spray it through. And it's also helpful for cleaning because you can really force that crud that can sometimes build up inside of on your needle back into the cup, so you can get it out of there and not have it be in there. So if you have a really stubborn paint that isn't maybe thin enough and just is not spraying, crank up your PSI a bit on your compressor, like 30 or something, or higher if you need to. I wouldn't go too high, but Backflow, really get that crap out of there, and that'll help you out. So here's my general kind of, I'm going to hopefully not drop my camera into my water here. So here we go. I've used my airbrush. I'm done with this color, and I need to switch over. So basically the few things that I do is I have water here in this Tupperware, and then I have basically diluted generic Windex. It's called Sparkle. It's important to consider getting a glass cleaner Windex or whatever generic kind you want that doesn't have ammonia in it, because it can, to my understanding, break down the chrome finish and some of the Teflon components inside of your airbrush. So I would recommend getting ammonia-free glass cleaner. You can use it, straight up, or dilute it a little bit just to save on cost and whatever, like I do. You could also just use like a Wada. I have some in here in a I just put it in here instead because the one I have is really big. Just a Wada airbrush cleaner, or any airbrush cleaner, you could use that as well. So I'll come over here and I just dunk my whole airbrush in this thing of water, spray it through, kind of dump, spray, you know, cycle the needle through, and really again get that gunk out of there. I'll put it in my hand. I can't do it because of the camera. Backflow just a little bit, dump it out, and then basically repeat that process in the cleaning solution. Just a little bit of dunk, a little bit of dunk, a little bit of backflow. Really get that gunk out of there. Spray it through, clean out the pot, and then I'll come over here. I have a rag that I use. It's just an old t-shirt that I'll use to get the remaining crud and Windex and crap out of the cup. And then I also have, I'm going to set this down, have some Q-tips here that you can just, you know, kind of, oh, there we go, I can use this as a stand. Jab in there, there we are, and kind of just clean up on the inside of the bottom of your cup and get any remaining excess chunks out of there. You can pull your needle back if you need to get way down into the bottom of the cup, and away you go. So really, guys, when I'm doing that like at speed, it only takes me maybe 30 seconds to fully clean my airbrush in between colors. Hopefully this sort of has helped you guys to get some ideas or tips as to how you want to sort of clean your airbrush in between colors. I would definitely recommend, again, the Flow Improver. I think that this would work without using Flow Improver, but just because you're already helping the paint to stop from drying out as much, if that makes sense, that makes this whole process better for some reason. But you probably do it pretty well without the Flow Improver, and hopefully it's helped out. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys do something similar, if you do something totally different when you're cleaning your airbrush, leave me some comments down below. Let me know if it's been helpful or not, if you think I'm way off, or yeah, whatever you're thinking. So thanks a lot, guys. Stay tuned for more content. Remember to check out my Instagram as well. I post a lot of pictures over there, and it's a good time. So thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.